If you ever worked in the construction industry, retainage is a really big deal because it can be difficult to track. Intacct has had it in the construction space for years now. So both for AP and AR, they've got retainage built in. What they're doing now is I think they've realized that a lot of other project-based industries also need retainage. So they're actually going to move retainage out of construction, and it's going to be available for anyone who has the project and grants SKUs, those modules. So I think that's really important because we work a lot in the construction industry, but I also work a lot in what I call construction adjacent fields. And so maybe they aren't actually doing the construction, but they work with construction companies all the time. And that's something I think is really important for them because they often don't need those construction features except for maybe retainage. So from a ability to be able to sell them the right product, get them the exact fit that they need without killing their budget, I think that's going to be a really important feature.
I'm thinking like
And what
engineers.
offhand? What other? Yeah, like what
Yes.
other industries do you see are kind of generally? I don't want to say missing that feature now, but could benefit from it outside of
Things like
construction.
places like engineers, architects, surveyors, those type of fields that, like I said, they're project-based fields often, but they're not doing the construction. So they're not using things like the project contracts or some of those other pieces that are very construction focused. But since they work with construction companies, retainage is often a part of their contract.
I would think about it like this. It's like almost your professional services firms that work with construction firms or within the construction project really
Yep.
fit into this. And I'll be honest, I didn't know this was part of that because I don't work within the CRE side of it, but that is a very big change and a move to kind of get that type of that type of capability out into more of what we call a general use apparatus for Intacct.
Any other high level components, Karen, that really people should know about?
So I'm going to stick with construction for a minute since we're already on that topic, maybe. But I think WIP is a big topic, of course, in the construction industry. So WIP has been around for a few releases now, but they are continuing to make updates. And this time is actually a pretty major update to the WIP functionality. They've got a bunch of new fields that are available on the report now. They've also got some new calculations. So a really big one in the construction space is the overbuild, underbuild calculation of where do you stand on your billings versus what you've actually spent on the project and done on the project. They've got a new calculation for that, and they're also updating it to include both year-to-date and job-to-date numbers. And so that's very important because in large projects, they often run multiple years. And so being able to have job to date information versus just being stuck in those accounting periods is very important from an operational standpoint. There's a bunch of other stuff that's available. You can go read the notes on this one. It's quite a long note, but a lot of the fields that are just on a project will now be able to be on the report. So maybe you want the status or the type of project, the customer manager. All those things are now available to put on the report as well, just to make it more flexible and easy for customers to use.
And Karen and I just got back from Sage's sales kickoff, but they put a major backing behind construction. I think it was 70% of the available market belongs to construction. So I think in the future, whether you're a customer, whether you're a VAR, whether you're someone who's just looking at Sage Intacct, you're going to be seeing a lot more advertising in the construction space.
Well, construction is the fastest growing industry for new client acquisition within Sage currently, from a percentage perspective, and it is one of their 5 pillar industries globally. So that's just me saying, yes, I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, there's a really large install base of people that are on the older Sage products, and that's what we're sort of seeing now. Construction's one of those industries that lags behind. You have leading edge and bleeding edge. They're like the people that are at the very end of the chain, and not wanting to change. I think there's a major push now in that industry, and so as people are ready to move off of things like the Sage Timberline, or way back there, things like Master Builder and all of those
Yep.
products that have turned into things like Sage 300 and 100C. That is going to now be moving to Intacct. And a lot of the learnings that Sage has, they've been in the construction industry for decades. They're now using that to make Sage Intacct a really premier construction product.